Parties. We've all been to one, maybe you've even hosted one. And now I'm not talking about some hot rounds of Call of Duty Zombies, that sort of party. I'm talking about a social gathering of invited guests, typically involving eating, drinking, and entertainment as defined by Google, I guess. They don't do a reference when you look it up on Google, it just says the box. That little box thing with the definition, I got that definition from there. Parties for me are a chance to talk to your friends, drink some cold ones with said friends, and maybe even make some new friends after drinking enough of the cold ones, because if I'm honest, new people intimidate me a little bit. The point is, it's you, your friends, and your friends' friends all hanging out in someone's house, just having a good time, and I think that's a little bit special. My favourite parties are probably Halloween parties, because everyone's dressed up in goofy costumes, but acting completely normal, like it's a normal party. I guess that's just fun, isn't it? It's fun. We have fun at our parties, it's fun. But I wasn't always as fond of parties and social gatherings, and to tell this story we have to go all the way back to the early 2000s, when I was a very small baby child. And when I was a small baby child, life was sweet, and so were the parties. What's that? Billy's 9th birthday party involves watching all the Pokemon movies back to back, and then we're going to get McDonald's for dinner? Sign me up. What's that? Swaley's mum's booked some sort of crazy play area that's got loads of ball pits and swingy bits of rope, and you can run through a tube. I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to have the best time of my life. What's that? My birthday party involves having a bouncy castle, and my mum's bought loads of Coca-Colas from Costco. Find me the toilet because I'm going to be sick from excitement. Parties as a kid were good, and then something happened. Everyone grew up, we went to secondary school, and suddenly having a sleepover and playing Modern Warfare 2 split screen all night, it wasn't cool anymore, that's not what you did. But at the same time, no one was old enough to drink, so the parties just kind of stopped. And sure, there was like paintballing and go-karting every now and then, but the actual going around someone's house and just doing what you want for 4 hours, none of that really happened. But for some reason, in my experience at least, in secondary school there was a large chunk of time where the only people that would have parties were girls. And I would get invited to these parties, not off my own back really, it was more because I had a twin sister that was friends with all these girls. And I'd get invited to these parties, and I'm sorry if any of you, the girls, the parties I went to are watching, you're probably not, I didn't really speak to you that much anyway. I didn't enjoy these parties at all, they were terrible, they were a terrible time. It was full of people that I didn't really know, acting much older than they really were, and I just kind of wanted to go home and watch Shadow of Israfel, or play Minecraft or something like that. And another thing about these parties was that the parents, that all the girls had quite young parents, most of the girls had quite young parents, and they were really involved in the parties, like they were present, they were heavily present. I just, always just checking up on everyone, asking what you did at school, stuff like that. It was like, please go away, I'm not speaking to anyone at this party anyway, I don't want to speak to you, you're 12 years older than me, I'm sipping my red cup, I'm trying to make friends with the dog here, leave me alone. I remember being at a party once, and this girl had an infinite amount of younger brothers, and they would literally like pop out of doors and hatches. Every corner you took, it was like a haunted house of little brothers coming out of any hole they could find. But one of these little brothers once, I was in the living room, and one of these little brothers walked past me with a dog on a leash, and he was walking the dog through the house, just like on a lead. I've always thought about that. Anyway, after a string of these types of parties, including one where the parents made us play this game where we had to pass a chunk of ice between our mouths, and I guess the aim of the game was to not make the ice melt in your mouth. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure what the aim of the game was, I just remember them telling us to pass ice between our mouths. I should probably have told someone about that at the time. So after all these parties, I came to the conclusion that that's it. I don't enjoy parties. I just don't like them. They're not for me. But everyone my age and people that I knew at these parties seemed to enjoy them. So I tried my best to blend in and to enjoy them, because when you're in secondary school, if there's one thing you don't want to be, it's weird or an outlier. Look at him. He's an individual, they'd say. Or, goth boy, you dropped your crow, they'd say. I wasn't a goth at school, that was just a reference that 5 people understand. But you get the idea. You don't want to be weird in secondary school. I mean, you can if you want, there's no reason not to, it's just it's frowned upon. Despite all my efforts, I still didn't really enjoy these parties, and I was ready to chalk it up to me just being a weirdo and not really fitting in, I guess. But then a miracle happened. The two forces of people that I know cycling to whole parties and being able to drink alcohol came together in a magical way to make something that's very good. Suddenly, I was among friends, I was drinking alcohol, and I was comfortable. And I looked into the mirror and I said, Josh, all this time you thought you were the weirdo. It was everyone else that was a weirdo, you dingus. You just hadn't found all the people that you liked that were your friends. That was the issue. Fast forward to now, and parties are even more enjoyable. You can listen to the music you want. You can talk to who you want about what you want. You can do what you want. If I want to talk about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 with someone that I don't know for an hour, and then sing along to Africa by Toto with my friends for the next hour, I can do that. If I want to get really drunk and pass out on my friend's sofa listening to the Ghostbusters soundtrack, I can do that. If I want to quiz someone slightly younger than me on what cartoons that they watched as a kid and get quite passionate and angry because they just didn't know what Ed, Edd and Eddy was, I can do that too. And I can do these things because I'm at parties with people that I know and people that I gel with. And if there's friends of friends, I probably gel with them too because there's similarities there. And that's pretty good. It's nice to be in an environment where you can just talk about what you want and know that someone's going to be interested in hearing what you have to say, and then someone can speak to you about something that you'd find interesting, and you can just have a good time and drink some alcohol, and also someone will probably be sick. My point is here, if you're a 13-year-old and you think you're weird or different because you got invited to your sister's friend's party that was at a nightclub that was holding under 16s night, and you sort of just stood around all night not really knowing what the music was, and you got headbutted accidentally and then decided that you wanted to go home at that point. If that's you, don't doubt yourself or doubt your personality. Don't try and fit in with those people because you just haven't found your crowd yet. You're not a weirdo, you're not like them. And I say them like they're the enemy. They're not bad for liking different things to you, obviously. But don't feel like you're weird because you're not like the people that you see being a normal teenager. Because that's not really a thing. And once you do find these people that you're willing to surround yourself with and you enjoy their company and their stories, you'll have the best time and you'll become the best version of yourself. Probably. It sounds a bit preachy, but like, it's good. Find friends that you like and do things that you like with them friends. Play video games with them, board games, just get drunk, watch movies, whatever. Basically, if you're for the introverted young people out there, don't hate yourself or feel like you're weird, because change is coming at some point once you meet your boys. And boys is a gender neutral term, so hashtag meet your boys. Strange organism. Another thing is that a lot of these girls had really young parents, and these parents would be heavily present during the party. They'd get involved. They'd come up and talk to me whilst I was standing in the corner of my red cup, and I just want to say, like, please go away. I'm trying to make friends with a dog. You can tell I'm not making friends with anyone here. I'm not going to make friends with an adult. I'm going to make friends with a dog, if anyone. Another thing about these parties was that the girls had quite young parents, and these parents were very present. They were heavily involved in the party. I remember often parents coming up to me and trying to start up a conversation with me, and I did not want to know. I didn't want to know. I was standing there with my red cup. You could see I wasn't interested in talking to anyone there. Why are you talking to me? I'm trying to make friends with the dog. I just want to sit here and make friends with the dog, and you're coming asking me what my favourite fucking show is on TV. I don't know. You're 12 years older than me. You're not that much older than me. What are you watching? It's probably what the rest of the kids are watching. Another thing I remember about these parties is that the parents were very young, and they were present. The parents were heavily involved in the party. They wanted to get amongst it. I remember they'd often come up and talk to me. I wasn't enjoying the party as it was. I don't want your parent coming up and speaking to me now. I don't want an older person. I mean, they weren't that much older. They're like 9 years older than me. That's a bit of a stretch. 12 years older, maybe. I just remember thinking, you can tell I'm not enjoying myself here. I'm trying to talk to the dog and drink out of my red plastic cup in peace. Leave me alone. Stop asking me questions about school. You probably remember it better than I do. Basically, it's a comfortable environment where you can talk about whatever the fuck you want and do whatever the fuck you want. Mum says I should stop swearing. You need to find your crowd. You need to find the people that you enjoy hanging out with and hang out with those people. Do what you want with those people. Maybe you just want to have a movie night. Maybe you want to have a night playing video games. Maybe you want to get drunk. Maybe you want to do some drugs. I'm not saying do drugs. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't do drugs. If you want to do drugs, they're over there. Do them. Don't do them. I'm not advocating for... Oh, God. I'm not advocating for doing drugs. Don't do drugs. But if you want to do them, they're there. I don't do them. I wouldn't do them. Ugh. I really don't. It sounds like I do. I don't. Hi, Mum.